Yeah, so again, this guy, you'll see this guy all the time on mixes, the Omega Transformer. I've been kind of addicted to this, the iZotope 7 stereo imager, and you can do it by the bands, which is so incredible to really just pick what you want and be like you're on the sides now, and still affect the whole thing. Or again, always saturating anytime I can.
And multiple stages as well, right?
Yes. And I look at it, I remember early on when I first started doing this, most of what I did was pretty much all self-taught. And a method in me teaching myself would be like, all right, well, how did they do it? Like, all right, they're going from something to something to something, and there's no computers, and like, all right, so at each stage something is happening. All right, so at each stage let me saturate then, because that's basically what you're doing if you're on all analog. Like each time you're plugging a patch into something else, you're getting a form of some electric circuit affecting your source at each patch, at each separation of one unit to another. So I guess the purist in me, I kind of try to work like that digitally to emulate what I love about records that inspire me and stuff like that, and kind of give a unique approach sometimes to just really try to capture some of that sound through the workflow, if that makes sense.
Was that same distortion texture on the vocal coming from the mic, or was that more plugins that you added to really give her that grit?
So the distortion on the vocal it's this guy. I would have used the Omega there too, but at this point I did this. I didn't use any double or no reverb or anything. I'm using all aux for that. Parallel compression, I'm sending a good amount there. And what I want to do with parallel compression is I'm looking to create a lot of pressure through that bus, a lot of force that can be used when I control it, so I can turn it down and know that it's going to be something very strong turned down. It's like when they say if you distort something, you can't just turn it down because you're just turning down distortion. Well, I'm getting what I want, and then I'll turn it down. And what I want is a lot of that pressure in the force, which will give like foundation and body. And to me, that's what the parallel compression is really good for, whether I'm using it on drums or vocals, is just the reinforcement of something, but using it so subtly, but so concentrated that I'm getting a lot by doing a little with it.
Can you, okay, so now you used the word pressure when you talked about parallel compression, and we were talking about this on the break, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what you mean by pressure so we can translate it to the audience. So can you show us and tell us? Is there something that you can help us learn what you mean?
It's so hard to demonstrate. It's kind of just, I mean, I'll make an attempt in a second on how to explain it. But some other like legendary engineers would refer to it in their consoles where they would use the energy and the force of the electricity and recordings to like bend their consoles. And to me, what that always meant is creating an abundance of force or volume or amplitude, whatever you want to call it, and controlling it in a way to where it's artistic. But an analogy too would be like it's really filling all the gaps, like the mortar to bricks. If you're building this is an analogy to like a brick wall. It's like you have all these bricks making the wall, but there's still all this mortar in there that's not even the brick, but it's very intricate to the wall. And it's kind of creating that through saturation, through control dynamic and EQ choices. It's often referred to as the glue. And I guess what I'm saying by pressure is when you're causing that glue to just grow in amplitude, I guess. And it just creates this effect on a mix. To me, is what all those old recordings had when it was all analog.
So can we get a like with and without parallel compression kind of thing?
Yeah, so I'll do the parallel compression on the vocal, I'll take it out. It's very subtle, but if you got like really good speakers and are in a good listening environment, you'll definitely hear it, but generally you do feel it.
Whoa. might be the sound